It's been a minute. It's been a while since I uploaded my last video, and I must tell you honestly, life happened. Sometimes we are busy making plans, and God is just there looking at us. I don't know if he's like maybe smiling or laughing, because he's the God that knows the beginning from the end, But we as humans, we make plans, we have our goals and work towards achieving our desired outcomes. But like I said, life happened. Between the last time I uploaded my last video and now, so many things have happened. One, I lost my dad, which is the reason why I am going to be talking about the topic I'll be talking about in a few minutes. I also graduated from grad school, which is, something I'll talk more about in subsequent videos. But today, I want to be talking about grief. You know how we have friends, we have loved ones, or someone, or sometimes you don't even know people, and they lose their loved ones. And oftentimes I've seen people, make comments such as, "My condolences, be strong," and some people say words of prayers. And then there are some people that will make comments like, "I can imagine what you are going through." And I must tell you categorically that this is the first time I'm, actually losing a parent, and it was a rude shock losing my dad. The news came to me 2 a.m. on the 30th of April this year, 2024, and my life has not remained the same ever since, because so many things have transpired. The process of grieving, the process of planning funeral, something I never ever anticipated I was gonna, get involved in 2024. But like I said at the beginning of this video, life happens. Life happened in this case. And so what happens when life throws you a curveball? It is very important you pick up the curveball and then do something. I'll be talking about grief today. Grief, is an emotional response to loss of any kind, but in this case, particularly the loss of someone or something, to which a person has formed a bond. In my own case, it is my dad. My dad was my first love. My dad was, it wasn't just it wasn't just my father, it was my friend. We had a very close and strong bond, for so many years. And losing him at the time that I did, you know, has dealt so much with me. Sometimes I find myself lost in thoughts. I just keep thinking, because we had plans, we talked about so many things, and then he died 3 weeks to my graduation from grad school. And so that was a really big blow. And but here we are, you know and we are trying to make the most of it and see what we can do. So when you lose someone or something to which you have formed a bond, it is natural, multifaceted process that affects people in different ways. And this is not limited to emotional, physical, cognitive, behavioral, social, and even up to philosophical dimensions. And I'll be delving into the key aspects of grief. Number one is emotional responses. There are common emotions which include sadness, anger, guilt, anxiety, and loneliness. I must tell you, I have been going through these phases. Sometimes I find myself, I'm very sad. Sometimes, there's this anger. Why? Why did it have to happen now? Why? I had so many things planned out. And why? And then sometimes guilt. Because I remember towards the end of 2023 and the beginning of 2024, there was this strong urge, to call my father, to talk to my dad. So please, if you ever find yourself in that situation where you have the nudge to call someone or talk to someone, close to you, do not hesitate, because um anything can happen. I'm not saying your loved one is gonna pass. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying, if you have this strong nudge, please go ahead and do it, because tomorrow is not promised. And then there's this anxiety. Of course, I get anxious, and there's this loneliness. It really dawns on me that, you mean, my earthly father is no more. You know, it just dawns on you are just lonely. And so people may experience, relief, especially if the loss follows a long illness. In my own case, my father, the illness was not long. My father had just, fell ill, and in a week or so he passed. So it was a rude shock. And then number two key aspects of grief that I want to talk about is physical reactions. Grief can manifest physically through fatigue, changes in appetite, sleep disturbances, aches and pains, and weakened immune responses. I can relate to the sleep disturbances. Ever since my dad passed, I have not been able to sleep very well because, like I said earlier on, sometimes I'm lost in thoughts, and it takes a while for me to fall asleep. I know everything is going to fall back together later, but it's a process of grieving, and so I am just taking it one day at a time. And then we have cognitive effects. It can lead to confusion, difficulty concentrating, preoccupation with the loss, and a sense of disbelief or numbness. When we talk about difficulty concentrating, the week my dad died, April 30th, 2024, 2 days after that was 2nd of May, I had a presentation. And this was the last presentation for this class. I put in so much, into my master's program, and I just wanted to keep up with what I was doing. Yes, my dad passed. Yes, I was angry. Yes, I was grieving. I was crying. I was doing all sorts, but I had a presentation. And so 2 days after he passed, thankfully, I'd already completed my presentation slides. I had my side notes and everything. I already done extensive research on the topic, what I was going to talk about. So 2 days after I passed, I went into the class. The only person I told was the professor. I called the professor to the side because, in a master's class, you're expected to engage in class. You don't just go and you let your professor keep talking. It's an engaging class oftentimes. And so I called the professor to the side. I said, if I'm a little bit quiet in this class today, this is the reason why I am quiet. And then she asked me why, and I told her, I said, my dad just passed 2 days ago, but I had to come in to do this presentation. And she was like, you could have just sent me an email, you have not missed my class since the beginning of the semester, I would have understood. And I told her, I said, I truly, I needed a distraction because all I do at home is sit down, cry. Calls are coming in. I am making calls. Calls are coming in, and all of that. So sitting down, crying, and I had a few visits, people stopping by the house to commiserate with me. So I just needed something to distract me. And I prepared so much. So it was only the professor that I told I lost my dad. So I didn't have a problem with um concentrating. So I went on stage when it was my turn to present, and I aced my presentation. It was after the presentation when we had the professor gave us like 5 minutes break, and I told one of my colleagues in class, because we had done our internship together for the final year in school, and so we had grown closer. So I just told her, I said, my dad just passed, 2 days ago. And she screamed in disbelief, and she was like, "You are here? How did you even do it? You aced your presentation. No one would ever know that you just lost your dad. Look at the way you presented. You presented so well." And I said, I had to do what I had to do. And even after that presentation, the preceding week, I had another presentation. And the last day of class, which I think was the last day of class was the 16th of May, I also had another presentation. And all my presentations, I give it my best shot, because I put in so much into this program. And so the next one on the list is cognitive effects. It can lead to confusion, difficulty concentrating, preoccupation with the loss, and a sense of disbelief and numbness. Okay, I mentioned that. So the next one on the list should be behavioral changes. This can include crying, social withdrawal, restlessness, and changes in daily routines and interest. Yes, crying. I cried so much. I still cry every now and then. The feeling will just come, and I'll just start crying. And social withdrawal. Of course, I couldn't attend certain events that I was invited to. I had like 2 parties that I was invited to. I think one was 70th birthday. I couldn't attend because that was the week that my dad passed, and I have another one, a birthday / graduation party, which I cannot attend to. There's this social withdrawal. I know with time, I'm gonna get back to myself, so I'm not taking it out of myself. I'm just taking it one day at a time. And then the next one is philosophical and spiritual reactions. Some people may question the meaning of life, their faith, or their beliefs. Others may find comfort in spirituality or religion. That is true. My consolation has been my faith. I am one person that loves unadulterated worship songs. I have loved that from the onset, and so that has really helped me. I listen to a lot of worship songs, and that sometimes when I find myself getting so sad, I just put on a worship song and I start listening. So songs of different worship ministers have really helped me process grief at this time. So that is very true. And then grief is often described in stages or phases, though these are not necessarily linear or uniform for everyone. The common models include the Kubler-Ross model, which encompasses the 5 stages of grief, which some of us are conversant with. We have the denial stage, the anger stage, the bargaining stage, the depression, and the acceptance stage. That you get to that point where you accept that this person is normal. The first stage is the denial. You deny, no, total, disbelief that it is not happening, is a dream. Can I just wake up from this dream? And then anger, you get so angry. Sometimes people even get angry with God. Why would you let it happen? I've been praying, I've been steadfast, I've been doing this. And then the bargaining, and then you slip into depression, and then you get to the stage of acceptance. And then the other models, propose additional stages or phases such as shock, disorganization, and reorganization. Grief can be influenced by various factors, including the nature of the loss, individual personality, cultural background, and available support systems. I must tell you, if you have a very strong support system, it comes in very handy when you are grieving. It does when you have a strong support system. And so please be kind to people. Say kind things to people, kind words. They go a long way. Some people will not come out outrightly and tell you that they lost someone, you know. So be careful, be mindful, be kind with your words. And then while it is a unique and personal journey, support from friends, family, or professionals can be crucial in navigating the process of grieving. Yes, that is absolutely true. Thank God for wonderful support system. Thank God for friends. Thank God for family members. Thank God for the community, the church. Thank God for, you know, the workplace where someone is working, that, you know, you work and then you like become like a family at your workplace. That is another place where, you know, you get support. Thank God for all of this. And then for people who are still grieving, or they're finding it very difficult, you know, to process grief, I would advise, you know, you seek professional help. You know, that might, you know, give you some form of relief. And then grief and mental health are deeply interconnected. You know, while grief is a natural and expected response to loss, it can significantly impact a person's mental health. There's this exploration of the relationship between grief and mental health, the impact of grief on mental health. You know, there's depression, anxiety, complicated grief, PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and then there's substance abuse. Some people turn to substances, you know, as a form for them to, you know, to help them with grief. And then there are factors influencing the impact, the nature of the loss, personal history, support systems, like I mentioned earlier on, and then, of course, we have coping mechanisms, healthy coping strategies such as engaging in hobbies, exercising, which I found very useful. Thank God, seeking professional help can help improve mental health outcomes. And then I just want to just go into managing grief and mental health. Number one, therapy. Talking to a mental health professional, such as a psychologist or counselor, can help process emotions, and you can develop coping strategies from there. There are specific therapies like cognitive behavioral therapy, CBT, is very effective in grief, in counseling, and then it's also very beneficial. Cognitive behavioral therapy. Medications, in some cases, medications such as antidepressants for some people who are depressed. If you go to see a doctor and then you are evaluated, you might be placed on some antidepressants or anti-anxiety drugs, which may be prescribed to help manage severe symptoms. And then we have support groups. Like I said before, joining a support group can provide comfort and understanding from others who are experiencing similar losses. And then we have self-care, maintaining physical health through proper nutrition, exercise, and sleep is crucial. Engaging in activities that bring joy or relaxation can also aid in the grieving process. Mindfulness and meditation, you know, when practices that promote mindfulness and relaxation can help manage stress and anxiety related to grief. So it is very, 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 very important, you know, to seek help. It is, you know, important to recognize when grief is becoming overwhelming or when it starts to significantly interfere with daily functioning. Signs that it might be time to seek professional help include persistent feelings of hopelessness or worthlessness. When you start feeling that way, you will need to seek help. There's no crime. There's no fast and hard rule to this. There's no crime in seeking help. There's no crime. Thank God, certain societies, you know, really accept that and encourage people to seek help. When inability to perform daily tasks or maintain relationships, severe anxiety or panic attacks, use of alcohol or drugs to cope, when it deteriorates to that extent, then one needs to seek help. Thoughts of self-harm or suicide, you need to seek. If you know anybody that is expressing such thoughts, that's why it's good to check up on people. They need help, and then when they help, when it's acted upon on time, you can help save a life. Okay. And then grief is a natural response to loss, like I said before. But when it intersects with mental health issues, professional support and healthy coping strategies are essential for healing and well-being. So please, if you are grieving, I think I can say this now. If you are grieving, you've lost someone, you've lost a loved one, someone, a friend, or anybody, you are grieving, I can tell you emphatically that I can understand, what you are going through and how you are feeling, because I am equally grieving at the moment, but we have to continue living, and then we have to pick it up from where our loved ones, where they are stopped, and continue to make them proud, so that when they look down, if there's anything like that, they are proud of us, that we are carrying on the baton very well. So thank you so much for listening. If you are new here, kindly subscribe to my YouTube channel. Please like, please share, and then feedback. Feedback is is essential. Please drop your comments. If there's anything you want me to improve upon, if there's anything you want me to talk about, feel free, drop your comments, and I will definitely get to it. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much. Please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Stay fabulous, and I'll see you on the next episode. Thank you.